chat already.
Hi, Phil.
Okay. Already. Okay, we're live. Perfect. Wonderful. Okay. Let me tweet this out quickly and then we'll begin. Welcome everyone to our AMA. We wanted to do this once a month, but somehow we've never found the time to actually do it once a month. But here we are. And yeah, it's our first time using a Restream, so bear with us, but I think it's working very well. Please let us know if there are any problems with the sound or anything else. And we don't really have a schedule for today. We'll just answer random questions that you ask us from Twitter and Telegram and YouTube. And if we don't have any questions left, I'm just going to ask Kristian some other stuff. And he'll just have to fill the void today. No pressure.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, Kristian, maybe you want to start by introducing yourself very quickly, because everyone knows me at this point, so on this channel at least. So yeah.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Kristian. I joined NMKR around 14 months ago. And I saw Patrick on the very first 360 I watched. So it was the Cardano 360, and he was talking about NFTs like for 10 seconds. And I called him 8 times in a row until he picked up. And yeah, we started to talk to each other. Back then I had an agency in Berlin, and this was working so well. Our working relationship was so good that I decided to join NMKR full-time. And now I'm the CEO of the company.
That's great. And yeah, I'm very happy that I finally decided to pick up your call at some point. But yeah, so I'm very glad to have you here today. Maybe we want to jump in right with the questions. I'm just going to read them, from the start to the bottom, and then we'll get to it. Yeah. So okay, let's start with a not so serious question asked by Jesse on Twitter. He asked us if we like pineapple on our pizza, and I know that Victor already replied with the official NMaker account that he likes pineapples. So what's your opinion?
A difficult question, but my answer is that I don't like pineapples on a pizza. I like pineapples on toast, and this is how I was introduced to pineapples, toast Hawaii, but I don't like pineapples on a pizza. But what about you?
Yeah, same. So now that the two of us don't like pineapples on pizza, I think we need to make it official company policy: no pineapples on pizza or something like that. But it's a big debate I think in every community that has ever existed, including the Cardano community. Another serious question, actually, from one of our German Cardano ambassadors. His name on Twitter is Cardano Canal Ambassador, so I actually don't know what his real name is. But he asked us two things, and one of them actually is about our eventual plans for Web3 games, because we have announced NMaker Games, of course, and that is our gaming arm, and we have great things planned, but we haven't really showed a lot so far. I mean, what we've done is we have actually released some games. So we helped the Ada Ninjas to release their first video game, which was amazing, and we had a great collaboration there. And I think it was one of the very first really good games on the Cardano blockchain. And then we also released a game launchpad, which was kind of a proof of concept thing, where essentially the idea was, okay, let's change the way we handle ownership over video games, and let's just use NFTs as access keys to those games. So essentially, you can resell your game after you're done with it, and the publisher will still get a percentage of that resale. But you will, of course, also get some money back, and you can play with a lot of different things if you introduce that concept, like rarities, having special collector's editions. We all know that gamers love collecting and stuff like that. So I think it's a very cool concept, and we basically wanted to prove that it actually works in practice by creating this game launchpad, and we did so. And yeah, we showed that it works. We launched, I think, 100 NFTs or 150 NFTs or so to test it out, and they all got sold. And you can actually play it if you go to NMKR.io/game launchpad, I think. Let me check. Anyways, I can't find it. We'll figure out the link later and put it in the description. But yeah, if you get some of these NFTs from the secondary market, you can just go to that website, connect your wallet, and then basically play the game. And once you sell your NFT, you won't be able to play the game anymore. So I think it's quite cool.
The URL is gamelaunchpad.nmkr.io.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And what do you think about the game launchpad? Are we approaching indie studios now, or is this something where any game developers should get in touch with us?
In general, anyone who's making games should get in touch with us, I think, because we can figure out, okay, what can we do together? How can we help each other, and so on. We are approaching some indie studios, but we are also taking it very slow and methodical with this, because now that we have this proof of concept, we can go to those studios and show them, okay, try this out, and they hopefully see the value in that. And in the past, it was very difficult to approach game developers specifically and game publishers, because they're all very much against NFTs at this point, because they don't see the value. They just see, another form of microtransactions and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's very important to have this proof of concept. And the good thing is that it not only applies to video games, but also to any other type of software. Like, imagine having an NFT and then you have access to, I don't know, Adobe Photoshop in your browser if you own that NFT, for example. So you can have like really interesting concepts around that. And the same thing is also happening with Book Token at the moment, and with some music platforms. They do exactly the same that we have been doing with video games. And I think this will just be expanded by us, and of course by many others in the future, and then we'll see where it leads. But maybe just to talk quickly about our future plans for NMaker Games. So we launched NMaker Games, which is our gaming studio, and we're building in the dark at the moment. So we're not really telling anyone what we are doing, but it's going to be very big and very cool, and we'll have something to announce pretty soon. And yeah, I actually can't wait to share it with you. But I can't tell you anything about it yet. But there will be NFTs, and there will be a big, cool game. And yeah, and we just had a lot of meetings about that today, and it's very exciting, and I can't wait.
And we had this discussion before. Is it NMaker Game or NMaker Games?
My opinion is it's NMaker Games. Okay. But the rest of the company seems to disagree, because they all call it NMaker Game. So I'm not sure, but I think I'm deciding that it's NMaker Games.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and on the website it's also called NMaker Games. So Here we go.
So Life in Motion is asking when we are distributing NMKR tokens to delegators.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Life in Motion is asking, when we will distribute NMKR tokens to delegators.
Yeah, so we have a lot more token distribution events planned in the future, and we are going through them very methodical. So the next one that is upcoming is our airdrop, and we're working on that at the moment. And the idea of the airdrop is essentially that we allocated in our white paper 1.2 million. It's 1.2 million. Is it 1.2 million? I think it is. NFTs to the airdrop.
Tokens.
And we will basically distribute them to holders of and all NFTs that have been minted using NMKR Studio or NMKR version 1. And we have a lot of different categories where we allocate, airdrop NMKR tokens towards. And one of these categories is definitely also for the stake pool, because we have a lot of delegators who are delegating to us, and they expect, of course, NMKR tokens at the moment. So we will distribute them using that. And then after that, we will start the official token distribution phase. So after the airdrop is done, we will start the official token distribution phase through the stake pool. So we will distribute tokens on a regular basis, month by month, or maybe even epoch per epoch, for delegators who have been delegating to our system. So I'm very excited for that. But it's gonna take a little more or a little longer, a few more weeks until we have the official airdrop, and then after that, the delegation to the actual stake pool delegators, the distribution to the actual stake pool delegators. So I can't give you a timeline, to be honest, live in motion, but we are working on it and it's coming.
And we take this serious. So there will be a solution in place, and a good solution in place for all the delegators.
Exactly.
So Jürgen Auerswald is asking, what do you think of this ADA handle as a standard and the future role of the Cardano ecosystem? Do you plan something like this too?
Yes, so I think ADA handles is great because it actually works, and they pretty much invented the first NFTs that got a really good utility on the Cardano blockchain, which is great. And I love using my ADA handle, and I love just sending tokens to names instead of addresses. I do see some concerns when it comes to the centralization of the whole system, because essentially they're just NFTs and they're held by one person or group of people in this case, and they have full control over these NFTs, right? And I kind of dislike that aspect of it, and I think that could have been done in a more decentralized manner. But that being said, I think the team is great behind them, and they know these concerns. They know that it's centralized, and they have a plan in mind to decentralize it long term, and they want to do DAO stuff and have many different things that they're planning for that. And I've been talking to them a lot recently because they're also interested in the whole digital identity topic. And as you might be aware, we have been working a lot with IMX, and we are very interested in this digital identity topic, and we want to implement the standard for digital identities connected to NFTs on Cardano, and we've written even a CIP, a Cardano improvement proposal for that. So we want to partner with ADA Handle, or not partner with them, but at least align with them so that they can use the standard, and the whole Cardano chain essentially is using the standard, so that no one is doing random things which are then not aligned and don't work together. And I think if they connect the ADA handle to a digital identity, then it's just the natural next step in their evolution. So I can't wait for that, and I think it's actually really exciting.
So we are not planning to do something similar, Jürgen, but we're definitely working with ADA handle, and we think that this is a very good use case with a very good utility.
Exactly.
So we have another question on Twitter. Please, Cardano Canal ambassador is asking again, please describe all use cases of the NMKR token. So what do we have in mind in regards to the use cases for the NMKR token?
Yeah, we have a few different things in mind. I think the main use case that we want to use is we want to have a system of verification, and basically something like a trust score embedded into our NMKR platform. So essentially what you can do is you can take your tokens, and then you can assign them to your account and basically stake them in your account, in your wallet. And then you can say, okay, I have staked, 100 NMKR tokens, and that is publicly visible. And then people see, okay, this person has skin in the game because he has 100 NMKR tokens in his account. And then let's imagine you do something bad, Like, for example, you, I don't know, fake some art and just upload it as an NFT and make some money off of that, and the community finds out that you've actually broken some rules there, and of course you can't just steal art, right? Then the community has the power to actually punish you for that. So they can take away your staked NMKR tokens by creating an on-chain proposal and creating a voting mechanism, essentially, to take away those tokens. And then if the majority votes for taking them away, then you will lose them. And the other way around, it can also go. It could also be that someone is flagging you as a bad actor for no reason, and then this person could lose tokens and you keep all your tokens. So we kind of want to have the community to self-regulate the content on the platforms. And I think this can be very interesting, because if you think about it, all these platforms out there like Uber or Airbnb or I don't know, eBay and so on, all they do is they centralize basically this trust score. So on Uber, the most important thing is how good is this Uber driver? Is he coming? So he has a trust score in the system, and the same goes for Airbnb. You want to know how good is the host, how good is the person sleeping in my room, and so on. So basically, by taking away this trust score and decentralizing it and making it available to the public, and not only for NMKR but also for other decentralized protocols or so, we remove the need for all of these trust centralization monopoles. And I think that's huge if you think about it. And of course, it's going to take a long time until we get there to such a degree. But if we can really push this, I think it can be an amazing use case long term for many things, not only for NFTs, but also for any other DeFi platform or whatever you want to build.
So you see the NMKR token not only as this not verification, but trust score level, and not only for NFTs, but for real world use cases as well.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, we're all about connecting NFTs with the real world use cases. So basically, it all comes together.
What is your take in regards to real world use cases? So we did the rebranding, right, 2 months ago to shift in this direction. What do you think about the status quo of real world use cases?
Yeah, I think at the moment there are not that many real world use cases out there. Like all these projects are there and they're promising real world use cases, or they're building for other people to build real world use cases, but there are not that many actual real world use cases out there. There's no dApp that my grandma is using, or my mom, or anyone like that. And that needs to change, in my opinion. And we have great projects on Cardano that are actually trying to do that, like Empower, or the whole Atala Prism team, or Book Token, my favorite example, or many others like that. And I love that we have all these projects. And what I'm trying to be basically is I want to be the infrastructure provider for these real world use cases. Not me, of course, but NMKR. I want NMKR to be the infrastructure provider for these companies that are trying to actually build something which actual people use and not only crypto fans use. So we are actively going into that direction, and we're actively seeking partnerships with these amazing startups and companies and sometimes corporates to build such things. And I think we've done a very good job so far, because we have been experimenting a lot. Like, we've done ticketing NFTs, we've done many other types of NFTs. The Book Token partnership, of course, a big one. But also we had physical art pieces that we connected to NFTs. We have clothing, which is connected to NFTs. We have so many different things which are connected to real, not only real objects, but real use cases. So that I think that we are really on the right track. And even though some of these use cases, they're not that popular yet, they're not more popular than regular profile picture drops or something like that, but they are the right step into the right direction. And I think that's what we're trying to do. Like, we're trying to think about, okay, where should NFTs be in 2 years from now or 5 years from now? And we're not trying to build for the hype, but we're trying to anticipate, okay, what happens when, we hit that one use case where 1 million people just randomly flood in, or not randomly, but planned flood in, because we suddenly solve a problem for them, which no one else has ever solved. And I think gaming is going to be a big one there. I think ticketing is going to be a big one. I think everything that has to do with digital ownership is going to be big, regarding software and books and so on.
Yeah, agreed. And we have those 2 use cases, the game launchpad and book token, up and running, right?
Yeah.
So we're testing the water, what's working best. Jürgen has another question. Can you tell us something about the new royalty splitting feature?
Yeah, it's a feature where you can split royalties. That's
Thank you for the answer.
Yeah, welcome. No, I mean, it's very straightforward. You have an address, and then money gets to that address, and you can basically set multiple different addresses, where then the money will be split towards to. So you can have, 15 friends or so, and if you receive royalties for your NFT project, you automatically split it between those 15 friends, which is very cool. And what I also like about it is that this feature can be used with any NFT collection. It doesn't have to be minted. Have to be minted through NMaker, but it could be minted through Buffybot or whatever other platform is out there. So that's really cool. One thing to note, though, is that it's centralized. So it's definitely centralized. It's not running on a smart contract yet. We have the smart contract for that ready. It's actually open source in our GitHub. So feel free to use that and build your own solution. But we haven't integrated the smart contract yet. So it's still very centralized. But the good thing about it is that you can download all the keys for the wallet. And then essentially, if NMaker at some point goes down, the royalty splitting isn't lost or anything, you can just download the keys and then restore the wallet on your own and then have it run again. So that's a security measure that we took.
And once, if I've set up the royalty splitting once, can I change it afterwards?
Sorry, can you repeat? It's very loud here for some reason.
There's a storm in the background.
Yeah.
If I set up the royalty splitting once, can I change it? Can I change the percentages or add wallets to the splitting?
Yes, you can, actually. You can. And you can also use ADA handles in the royalty split, which I think is very cool as well. Yeah.
Cool. I think we answered all the questions on Twitter.
I think so too. Let me just check. There's one question about the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can answer that quickly. So the marketplace, what we are doing is we are essentially we call it NMaker Store, by the way, and we are essentially making parts of NMaker Store available as standalone tools. So we will be having different standalone tools which we release. And then, if you have like 5 of these standalone tools which you can use, in the end, all of them will come together and then they form the NMaker Store. So we want to bring out stuff more regularly. And that's why we decided to not have like one big launch, but instead have like a lot of smaller launches and then combine them all together at the end. And then it's the NMaker Store. So we want to be very experimentative. I don't know if that's a correct English word, but anyways, we want to try out a lot of things with the NMaker Store, and we want to have like a lot of these experiments and see, okay, in which direction do we need to push the NMaker Store? Do we need to go more into gaming? Do we need to go more into fine art and so on, and try this out and really be research-driven in a way, or user response-driven? And yeah, and I think that is what's very different to all the other marketplaces on Cardano, because they're all very much focused on the collectibles, which is great. That's a good market, and it works very well for JPEG Store and CNFT.io and so on. But we kind of want to find our niche and figure out maybe also how to connect the store with our use cases for real world adoption and so on. And then, maybe in the end, it won't be a marketplace for, I don't know, collectibles, but instead for something in the real world. Oh my God, this storm is getting very heavy, actually. Anyways, I hope that answered the question.
What's next for NMKR? What will happen this week? What will happen this month? Can we announce anything?
I'll pass that on to you, Kristian.
A lot to come. I think, especially today, 6 p.m. UTC. Stay tuned. This will be one of our biggest announcements ever, and I'm really looking forward to that. And
you just dropped the sentence. This will be our biggest announcement ever on 13 viewers in here. So it's like the most exclusive bit of information we've dropped today. And I hope all of you who are watching this are appreciating this alpha that Kristian just dropped on you. It's got to be good.
And then we have a lot to come later this week. I think we have something cooking in regards to the minting process itself. Do you know when we will drop this information?
So we will so essentially we already soft launched the NMKR Mint, so we can talk about it, I think. But we will release 2 new tools. One of them is NMKR Mint sometime mid this week, hopefully Tuesday or Wednesday. We don't know the exact date yet. There's still a lot of tech testing and bug fixing going on, and the developers are working very hard behind the scenes. But I think it's going to be very soon, and I'm very excited because it will be like NMKR Mint is specifically designed for small collections, so like 1 NFT or maybe 20 NFTs, but not super large collections like NMKR Studio. So the user flow is a lot better than anything you've seen on Cardano before, and in my opinion, even on all the other chains. I tried out a ton of minting tools on all the other marketplaces, and they're all not comparable from my experience. So I can't wait.
It's easy to use, and yet you have a lot of functionality that you can use even without being a developer yourself. So I'm really looking forward towards that, because I think it will open the NFT scene, the whole ecosystem, to a lot of people who are not yet into minting NFTs.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think we're almost at half an hour, so I think we can also end it here if there are no more questions. I think it was very informative, and Kristian with the real alpha today. So I guess thank you everyone for tuning in. Maybe we'll do this more regularly, maybe not, who knows. But we now have an abo for Restream, so we need to use that. Maybe that's an excuse. Yeah, thank you for joining.